Mr. Zuckerberg, does Facebook consider itself a neutral public forum?
Senator, we consider ourselves to be a platform for all ideas.
Let me ask the question again. Does Facebook consider itself to be a neutral public forum? And representatives of your company have given conflicting answers on this. Are you a First Amendment speaker expressing your views, or are you a neutral public forum allowing everyone to speak?
Senator, here's how we think about this. I don't believe that there is certain content that clearly we do not allow, right? Hate speech, terrorist content, nudity, anything that makes people feel unsafe in the community. From that perspective, that's why we generally try to refer to what we do as a platform for all ideas.
Let me try, just because the time is constrained. It's just a simple question. The predicate for Section 230 immunity under the CDA is that you are a neutral public forum. Do you consider yourself a neutral public forum, or are you engaged in political speech, which is your right under the First Amendment?
Well, Senator, our goal is certainly not to engage in political speech. I'm not that familiar with the specific legal language of the law that you speak to, so I would need to follow up with you on that. I'm just trying to lay out how broadly I think about this.
Well, Mr. Zuckerberg, I will say there are a great many Americans who I think are deeply concerned that Facebook and other tech companies are engaged in a pervasive pattern of bias and political censorship. There have been numerous instances with Facebook. In May of 2016, Gizmodo reported that Facebook had purposely and routinely suppressed conservative stories from trending news, including stories about CPAC, including stories about Mitt Romney, including stories about the Lois Lerner IRS scandal, including stories about Glenn Beck. In addition to that, Facebook has initially shut down the Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day page, has blocked a post of a Fox News reporter, has blocked over 24 Catholic pages, and most recently blocked Trump supporters Diamond and Silk's page with 1.2 million Facebook followers after determining their content and brand were, quote, unsafe to the community. To a great many Americans, that appears to be a pervasive pattern of political bias. Do you agree with that assessment?
Senator, let me say a few things about this. First, I understand where that concern is coming from because Facebook and the tech industry are located in Silicon Valley, which is an extremely left-leaning place. And this is actually a concern that I have and that I try to root out in the company, is making sure that we don't have any bias in the work that we do. And I think it is a fair concern that that people would at least wonder about.
Let me ask this question. Are you aware of any ad or page that has been taken down from Planned Parenthood?
Senator, I'm not, but let me just...
How about MoveOn.org?
Sorry?
How about MoveOn.org?
I'm not specifically aware of those.
How about
cases.
any Democratic candidate for office?
I'm not specifically aware. I mean, I'm not sure.
In your testimony, you say that you have 15 to 20,000 people working on security and content review. Do you know the political orientation of those 15 to 20,000 people engaged in content review? Social media is a very powerful tool, but we're here because every parent I know, and I think every parent in America, is terrified about the garbage that is directed at our kids. I have 2 teenagers at home, and the phones they have are portals to predators, to viciousness, to bullying, to self-harm. And each of your companies could do a lot more to prevent it. Mr. Zuckerberg, in June of 2023, the Wall Street Journal reported that Instagram's recommendation systems were actively connecting pedophiles to accounts that were advertising the sale of child sexual abuse material. In many cases, those accounts appeared to be run by underage children themselves, often using code words and emojis to advertise illicit material. In other cases, the accounts included indicia that the victim was being sex trafficked. Now, I know that Instagram has a team that works to prevent the abuse and exploitation of children online. But what was particularly concerning about the Wall Street Journal expose was the degree to which Instagram's own algorithm was promoting the discoverability of victims for pedophiles seeking child abuse material. In other words, this material wasn't just living on the dark corners of Instagram. Instagram was helping pedophiles find it by promoting graphic hashtags, including hashtag pedwhore and hashtag preteen sex, to potential buyers. Instagram also displayed the following warning screen to individuals who were searching for child abuse material. These results may contain images of child sexual abuse. And then you gave users two choices: get resources or see results anyway. Mr. Zuckerberg, what the hell were you thinking?
Welcome to the very first episode of Overlooked Justice Podcast. I'm your host, V. I'm versatile. We're here today to dive into a topic that impacts every single one of us: the state of the world, and are you prepared? How are these global and social changes affecting us individually? And perhaps more importantly, are we prepared for the challenges that lie ahead? First of all, I want to thank everyone joining us today. I thank you all personally for your time and voices. And may our discussions help ignite the voices of the people to create change in our world. To give you a brief overview of how Overlooked Justice was born, it was planted in me while in tribulation. This tribulation that led me to create this production and more, to discuss stories that are often overlooked, and to give voices to the voiceless. Everyone's voice and lives matter, and your voice and comments are encouraged for the development of this production. Most know that the engine of the world constantly censors the voices of the people. As they censor us, they farm us like cattle. Our opinions, if not in line with the agendas of the world, are often labeled as anti-Semitic and more. Yet for those that choose to use wisdom and knowledge to discern, to govern your lives, know that your opinion and voice is not a conspiracy, nor should it be censored. We perceive the unbalanced injustice in the rule of law, where discretion for their chosen is overlooked. Yes, the crimes by those that lead. Yet they locked up a man for being 43 cents short for a Mountain Dew soda. Research it. Yet the world seems too blind to see or to care. The revelations revealed to me through my spirit while in tribulation would assign me God's will before you. My writings and opinions are displayed in the parables you perceive of where we are, where I feel we're headed, and some solutions to the gift of life. My voice and opinions, like many, have been censored by social media and others, yet the immoralities of social media have contributed gravely to our fallen world, while endangering the lives of today and tomorrow, our children. Many of us have made mistakes in this life. Some of those mistakes were contributed by the programming of this world. The darkness of the world is highly promoted on social media and entertainment, politics, and the news. May our discussions in this series and your voices uncensored lead us all from death to life. You know, the state of the world is rapidly evolving at an unprecedented pace. You know, we have climate shifts, economic changes, political madness, job eliminations, food shortages, the crimes by some that lead, yet they govern the people. AI, social injustice, and so much more have become pressing concerns. How these global changes are impacting some individuals in their daily lives continue to evolve daily. There is no job security anywhere, yet our leaders continue to talk about job growth. But daily, we see reports of job eliminations everywhere. And I believe, as I've written for several years now, that it will become worse very soon. Recently, Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla and SpaceX, said you don't need a college degree. Walmart recently announced that it will no longer be requiring its executives to have college degrees. The story of a man who applied for 1,400 jobs clearly displays how bad it is. In California, homeless citizens are found living in caves 20 feet below street level, yet our leaders speak otherwise.
There's no need even to have a college degree at all, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
AI will increasingly replace repetitive jobs, not just for blue-collar work, but a lot of white-collar work.
What sort of jobs would be lost to AI?
Basically, chauffeurs, truck drivers, anyone who does driving for a living, their jobs will be disrupted more in the 15 to 20-year time frame. And many jobs that seem a little bit complex, chef, waiter, a lot of things will become automated. We'll have automated stores.
A new era of dining is about to begin with the launch of Cali Express by Flippy, the world's first fully autonomous restaurant powered by artificial intelligence. This innovative venture is the result of a collaboration between Miso Robotics, a leader in AI-powered cooking robots, Cali Group, and Pop ID, pioneers in digital ordering and payment systems. At Cali Express by Flippy, customers will enjoy delicious meals prepared by Miso's robotic cooks, who can handle all cooking tasks quickly and precisely. The restaurant is conveniently located in a prime retail location in Pasadena, California, on the northwest corner of Green Street and Madison Avenue at 561 East Green Street. Utilizing the most advanced food technology systems, grill and fry stations are fully automated and powered by cutting-edge AI and robotics. Guests can also use their Pop ID accounts to access personalized recommendations, make easy and fast payments, and get loyalty rewards on self-ordering kiosks. Cali Express by Flippy offers a very simple menu featuring freshly crafted burgers made from a premium Wagyu blend at price points competitive with other premium burgers using standard meat. A grill robot grinds the high-quality beef in real time after the order is placed, resulting in a burger patty that melts in the mouth. And that's not all. Their robotic fry station, Flippy, ensures that the accompanying French fries are crispy and hot, made from top-grade potatoes that are always cooked to exact times. The menu is very simple, comprising burgers, cheeseburgers, and French fries. One of the key advantages of this fully automated restaurant is it not only improves the quality and consistency of the food but also enhances the safety and efficiency of the workplace. Flippy's advanced technology reduces the risks of slippage, burns, and food and oil waste, creating a more hygienic and productive environment. Moreover, the Cali Express by Flippy kitchen can be efficiently managed by a smaller crew in a less stressful environment than competing restaurants, while also providing above-average wages. At the Cali Express by Flippy location, visitors can enjoy delicious food and a pseudo-museum experience. The restaurant features dancing robot arms from retired Flippy units, experimental 3D printed artifacts from past development, photographic displays, and much more. It is designed not only to serve delicious food but also to inspire the next generation of kitchen AI and automation entrepreneurs. The restaurant welcomes schools and educational groups to book tours and learn more. Cali Express by Flippy autonomous restaurant is set to open this month, initially by reservation only.
The visuals and content of these stories display the current temperature of the world. And again, my question is, are you prepared? Let's start off by taking a few questions from the audience. Let's look into the chat and see what we have. Are you looking for us to actively participate? Yes. This show is your show. You know, like I said, this was created in tribulation. There's a lot of things that people get overlooked, and this is your show. And we invite that. We will also put in the chat at the end our email address for content review, things of that nature. A lot of the shows that, a lot of the topics that we'll be talking about are things that affect us every single day. Every single day. You know, we hear how the banks are misusing our data, and, you know, we're supposed to be having these agencies to protect us. You know, I send, my staff knows that I send complaints and claims to the Department of Justice all the time. They know who I am. And these agencies do not protect the people. I always tell people, when you're reading these stories that come on your phone, always look at the comments in these stories, because the comments will display the temperature of the world. And one of the things that I always say is, you know, when I was writing for 4 years now, and I saw what would become of President Trump, not because I don't like him, I have no reason not to like him, but I saw the things that he was doing, and I knew what would happen. And I put those up on LinkedIn, and I put it up on Facebook. I even put him in the image in prison gear. Well, it's come to pass. Those stories were actually, they were censored, but I keep every story, so I would post it back up. So if you go to Facebook to I Am Versatile Official, you will see those in the dates that they were put up. And the whole reason I believe that you know, God has me to do this, because I look at things not for myself. A lot of us, we look at things for our own self-gratification, not for our neighbor, not for our children. And the example of what's happening to the children, I mean, it's horrendous. I mean, that's why there's so much in the world that the children don't care about life anymore, because they see how, you know, they see the projection of the world. All right, let's see if there's another one. Okay, I don't want to be too long-winded. Okay, Quentin, let's see what you got here. How do we as Black community harness the power of artificial intelligence? That's a great question, Quentin. So that it is used for greater good, and how it can benefit us as a people. I think it'll benefit us. In my group, we use a lot of technology, AI technology. You're looking at some of it right now. You know, with marketing, with the writings that I do, with movie productions, quite a bit, but never to the point where it takes away from the essence of conversation. AI is very good at giving a summary layout, but it sometimes takes away from the human side of the heart. Like, it'll describe the heart to a T, but you will not feel the impact of the emotion with AI. But there's a lot of good things that'll come out of it, and it's a lot of bad things. When we're talking about data, there's a lot of bad things that's going on right now. Everyone on this call and everyone on the planet right now, your data is at risk. And those that have been damaged by data, you know how hard it is to get your content back. But these companies make billions of dollars on our data, and that's why you get all of these pop-ups all the time. When you're thinking about going to the store and buying something, it's not a surprise that it comes on your phone. People really need to educate themselves. And just like Elon Musk said, you don't need a college education. Not to say that, education is not good, but you should have well-rounded education, not just one-sided. Right now, they're just teaching one-side education in this world, and that's why we're so vulnerable. That's the reason why. And like you said, the creators of this planet and our generations, none of them had college degrees, but yet you use their technology. So I advise people to definitely look at your talents. It's very, very important. We'll answer one more. It says, V, you mentioned the impact of social media censorship and our freedom of speech. How do you see this evolving in the future, and what steps can we take to combat censorship? Every one of us is being censored. For those that can watch what's going on in the world and know that if any one of us were to do a tenth of that, we would be locked up under the jail. And for us to make excuses for that, we're part of it. It doesn't take a, no pun intended, Ken, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see it. Not at all. All right, people. Let's go into, okay, we've had enough questions right now. People are being programmed every single day. And I believe if you change your agendas and recognize the programming for its intent and its agenda, then apply wisdom and knowledge to discern and govern your own lives accordingly, I think change will come. The government is voted by the people. They voted by the people, for the people in many areas, has failed the people. Now it's up to the people to apply the basics to survive and demand more from their leaders. Personally, people always ask me, what can we do personally? I tell people personally, surround yourselves with those who truly love you, past the things that are loved in the world. Real love is not conditional. As we see the world today, how it's often traded to the highest bidder and, as the idols of this world display every single day. Also know that the wealth of leaders cannot prosper without you. And your wealth is your health. So I really exhort people to believe and invest in you. That's very, very important. We're going to take another quick break. 1 minute. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. There was another question that was I think there was a young lady, and I'm paraphrasing right now because there's a lot of questions coming in. But she says she's been using AI technology, and she's got 4 projects. And she has some concerns about how her information is being stored. There is a lot of monetization, and congratulations on what you're doing. A lot of people are scared of it. They really are. They're scared of AI. All you have to do is go to OpenAI, download it, and talk to it, just like you're talking to us, just like you're talking to anybody else, and you tell it what to do. You give the prompts in AI. You tell AI, I want to make a natural photo of a beautiful woman on the beach, dressed tastefully, natural photo, Kodak 400, gold. And it will actually make that image for you in front of you. People are still in the Stone Ages, and this is the reason why I say you have to incorporate yourself. Because you're getting ready to get left. Not 10 years from now, this year. The reason why there's so many jobs that they have not just laid off, it's eliminated, which means they're not coming back. So there's a lot of companies and a lot of creative business people like myself and this young lady that was just talking about that we can do business anywhere in the world without ever being seen. Never being seen. The technology is just crazy. You have autonomous vehicles that you can actually use now in certain places. Autonomous planes. I mean, there's so much going on that you haven't seen because there was a reason for that. You can't tell people enough because they've been programmed to follow the things of this world. and a lot of them are going to their jobs, and the jobs have been eliminated. So this is not something that you can do at leisure. You need to learn this now. I don't care if you're 60 years old, if you're 70 years old, if you're 80 years old, you need to learn it now because you're about to be eliminated. All right. So that was a great question. And again, congratulations to her. All right, people. Everybody, join me in welcoming my special guest, rocket scientist and trust consultant Ken Harrison. Man, I'm so glad you're here. How you doing, brother?
Good to be here with you, my brother. I'm well. I'm blessed.
Let me get you on screen. I got to see you, man. Hold on a second.
Am I displayed for you, brother?
Yeah. Okay, brother. We can see him now. Can we see him, studio? Can you see him? All right. You in the house, brother.
Okay, wonderful, brother. Wonderful. You go
Man,
ahead and lead, brother,
you,
and I'll jump in as appropriate.
Man, first of all, thank you for the information. The last time we had, I thought I had a really good platform with all the bells and the whistles, but the whistles wasn't working. So I had to get rid of the whistles and come to something that's much better. And speaking of AI technology, like I was telling you, Zoom has the AI technology now.
Right.
Everything that's on here is being recorded by AI. Every aspect of it. I can pull out this, I can add this, that, and the other. So this is what I'm telling people. These things have started already. They've already started. It's not something that's in the future. The future is here now. And if you don't learn it, you will get left. So again, man, thanks a lot for all of that. You were chosen for the first episode of this podcast because we all know that information is powerful and invaluable when applied.
Yes.
I want everybody to know what Ken brings. Ken brings a unique perspective. Not only is he a rocket scientist exploring outer space, but he's also deeply committed to helping small business owners structure themselves for generational wealth and success with corporate trust. Ken, can you share with us a little about your career, your journey, and how you connected these seemingly different realms?
Absolutely, brother Versatile. First of all, man, thanks for having me. Thanks for having a number of my clients and business associates and family members through the trust world that I invited onto this filming tonight of this Overlook Justice episode. Now, me, I'm like you. I think you told me you are from the South originally, North Carolina. Is that right? Oh, I
was born in DC. I'm a DC guy.
Okay.
But I travel all over the place. But North Carolina is one of my homes now.
There it is. I'm originally born in South Carolina, but for years have spent most of my life in DC. In fact, my high school years was spent in DC, Calvin Coolidge High School, Northwest DC, for those who know the area.
I know what that is, yeah.
Was blessed with a full ride scholarship to Vanderbilt University Engineering School, 4 years there. That catapulted me into a career with NASA and DOD. In the world of NASA and Department of Defense, as many people who ever have lived in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, known as the DMV, this area is dominated by high tech. AI is overtaking the high tech world in the DMV area.
Yeah.
The majority of jobs are associated with those industries related to AI, high tech, computer science, technology, etc. So I found myself in that world, Versatile, throughout my career with corporate America, which lasted 16 years, strictly as a design engineer. As a design engineer, I carried a U.S. top secret clearance. That particular type of clearance gave me access all the way up to the Vice President of the United States. Did not have to ever call on that individual. Usually could resolve my issues well below I got to the VP level. But that was the magnitude of the type of clearances that gave individuals like myself doing what we were doing. In my case, all I can say is I was putting things in orbit that the rest of the world is not supposed to know about.
I admire that about the world. Yeah,
absolutely. And in the process of doing that, I would clock in, 8 to 5, well, 8 to 5 was not normal. For me, it was usually 8 to 8, 8 to 9 p.m.
Right.
But I would clock in and day out, brother. And I would be working right next to individuals who were, for the most part, my senior. Because I was usually the youngest designer on a team. I was usually the youngest one on a trip to an outside vendor. And so I got used to that. But what I started observing, and I know it was divine intervention, I started observing their lifestyle. I started looking at the 60, 65, 70, sometimes 75-year-olds still working in that engineering career.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they were pulling
Wow.
in a heavy duty 6 figures. But
Wow.
I knew it was put on my conscience, Brother Versatile, to make an exit as soon as the creator gave me one, because I couldn't see myself continuing to do that day in and day out into my golden years. I knew God
Yeah,
had more for me. And
that's
because I
right.
couldn't talk about what I did due to the security clearance restrictions, I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk to my mom about what her son did. I couldn't talk to
Right.
my kids
Right.
about what dad did. And so I say,
Right.
God, I know you've got something for me to take to this world that I can talk about.
There
And
you
so I
go.
looked at their lifestyle. I would have conversations about, hey, what do you do outside of this 9 to 5? When we're not working on these covert projects, what do you do? And the answers were frightening. And so, long story short, I started developing a game plan to exit. And I said, God, I'm asking, I'm praying, I'm begging for a way to get out of here by 35, age of 35. At that time, I was 25, and I'd already been
Wow.
in that field for 4 years, since 21 years old. So I always say I missed 35, but I hit 36 dead on the head, because I looked at every possible legal avenue, and I
Right.
emphasize legal avenue of creating additional streams of income
There
outside
you go.
of what my 2 degrees, and at that time, 10 years of high-tech design experience had given me. So I looked at network marketing, did very good at it. I looked at real estate, did very good at it. So between those two, I was able to match that 6-figure income. And that was my exit. And initially, I continued to do private consulting work with NASA and DOD and other engineering agencies that called upon my expertise. But I eventually was led to consulting in general. I wanted to just open it up to general consulting so that I could
Right.
start connecting with my people, like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And that consulting led to some real estate consulting. It led to teaching the concepts of network marketing leadership. And then I realized, okay, if I'm teaching leadership, I'm teaching business owners, including network marketing business owners, but business owners in general. If I'm teaching them how to expand themselves and thereby expand their income, I said, God, how can I teach them how to protect the income and all
That's right.
those things, the stuff that the income buys, the home, the car, eventually the boats, the vacations, the vacation homes, the stocks, bonds, mutual funds, the cryptocurrencies of the world today. When I started looking at the fact that from high school to college to master's degrees into professional careers, none of us, and let me emphasize, none of us were taught asset protection. We didn't have a clue. It's one thing to have an income and to buy all the things your heart desires with that income. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with people being blessed with prosperity as long as they hopefully use it for good. Okay.
Right.
But what
Right.
I had a problem with is nothing in this system, government controlled or otherwise, nothing in the system taught us how do we protect that income? How do we protect the assets that we purchase over our lifetime with that income? And so right about the time I was thinking that, guess what? Again, divine intervention. I was called by multiple pastors who were working together, ministers from various denominations, to represent them in a multi-billion-dollar currency exchange. Okay. It was going to take place in California. These folks had been told, oh, by the way, they were also military, had a lot of military background. A lot of these pastors, ministers had military background. When they were in the military, Brother Versatile, they were informed just before the second George Bush, right after 9/11, took us into Iraq, into an ill-advised war, by the way. When we went to war with Iraq, the foot soldiers, the lower levels of the military, were told, hey, we can't give you any higher income for going into Iraq and putting your life on the line for this country, but we'll give you a tip. You know, buy up their currency, buy up the Iraqi dinar, buy up anything that we're going to destroy the value of now, because we're going to destroy Iraq. But as they rebuild, their currencies will come back to have value. So that led these ministers who were military at that time, once they came out military, it led them to tell their congregation members the same thing. So tons of people across America started buying up the various foreign currencies that these society leaders, ministers and so forth were preaching. They started buying it up. So they called me to head up a program to go out to California, 2014, to help convert these assets and investments into US dollars. While there, I sit into a lot of very private, very privileged meetings. And one of the things that came out of those meetings that leads me to being on this Zoom with you and our audience tonight, one thing now I was told, and I heard it very loud and clear, brother, is, Ken, if you're going to represent people in these kind of exchanges that could put millions of dollars into their bank accounts that they have never seen before, because mind you, average person I was working with had just an average income, you know, 30 to 50,000 a year. Okay. Not millionaires, but they were about to potentially become millionaires. So government representatives who were watching everything we did, because they knew the volume of money we were about to move, these government representatives said, you need to teach them how to create and live through a private trust. And that was foreign language to me. None of these engineers making heavy duty 6-figure incomes that I had worked with up to that point for 16 plus years, none of them knew anything about trust. You, me, from high school to college, on and on, we weren't taught about trust. But guess what? Here's why I knew, brother, it was design intervention. The moment I was told that, within days, I was introduced to a brother who educated me on what? Private trust. He literally came out of nowhere. And he said, brother, I'm going to teach you everything I know, but you have to make me one promise. You will spread it to everyone you are led to share it with, to teach it to, teach it to them, encourage them, motivate them, not just to hear you, not just to learn it, but to apply it.
Yeah, to plant seeds.
And I made that promise. So he planted that seed in me. And brother, I've been planting that seed all across America to anyone who will listen through any forum, through any platform, on asset protection, particularly through living through a private family trust.
Yeah, we talked about that when we first met. And, I always tell people, first of all, like you always hear me say, your wealth is your health.
Yes.
Your wealth is your health, and information is powerful. A lot of people believe, I make a bunch of money and I put it in the bank, but they don't understand his responsibilities with that.
Absolutely.
And being in the positions that you've been in, and me traveling the world, in parts of the world, and meeting certain people and meeting a lot of people like you with that clearance, you see things that most people will never see.
Absolutely.
I remember when I met, you probably seen me in a photo of me and Condoleezza Rice, And that
Yes.
meeting was one that was one that it was supposed to happen years ago, but me, I didn't never want to go to the White House. I'm a private guy. I don't care about all that stuff. But when I met her,
Same here.
when I was on tour, we didn't leave each other's side for 4 hours.
Wow.
And I would tell people our discussion was she's educated, she's this, that, and the other. I'm just a person that God decided that I would meet certain people, and the things that I had, hopefully people wanted to hear. But she is one of the most brilliant women in the whole world. And I remember telling people when I met her that she could be the NFL commissioner. Well, guess what? That woman she now owns part of the Denver Broncos.
That's
and
right.
so you see certain things in people, just like that person saw in you, and they planted the seed, and you're planting the seed. And it's not just for gratuity, but it's for annuity. And so it's a big difference, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to have you on, because this is the time of preparation. You prepared when you were 25, and you exceeded to what you wanted to do. Well, right now we are thrusted to prepare in this world right now, because most people, I'm sure a lot of people on this chat have gone to stores and seen empty shelves, and there's reasons for that. And there's reasons for that. Being a person, a scientist, you've seen things, you understand climate change and all these things. But people take advantage of it because it's not directly in front of them until it gets in front of them. So that was one of the reasons why, I said as a business person that we need to prepare. And when I spoke to you and told you about the platforms that our group was doing and listen to you, I said, hey, what's the use of making all of this if you don't take advantages of what you can do with it? People don't even know that you can buy a car. You can buy a car through your corporation, as long as I think it's a certain poundage or something, and you get 100% write-off for it.
Absolutely.
This is the information that people need to understand.
Yes.
And I applaud all the time when companies are small businesses, because they make up the country. Small businesses is the biggest advantage in this country. And so we need more of that. And even though I think someone in the chat was talking about technology is opening up thousands of jobs. Well, it's jobs in certain areas, but once the technology with those jobs are fulfilled by the labor, they no longer need you anymore.
Right.
So you have to prepare like you prepared, and then we have something because look at it this way. Education is good, but more people have college debt than they have positions.
Absolutely.
So you gotta look at that. And so that's what this whole conversation is to create common sense and conversation for change, but also to give people something that we can embark on and move in the direction of our lives for our children, grandchildren, or whatever. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
So that's what it's all about. So we're gonna go a couple questions. See if a couple audience have some questions for you, Ken, because this is a great. Let's see here. And I wish we could answer all of these guys, but there's a lot of questions. I think one person says, just curious, how many here are learning all things AI technology? And if anyone here has started, we read that one before. Okay, I see it's kind of very true. Incorporate. Yes, very true. Incorporate yourself. And in the link, you guys, we put some of inside the link. We put some of the stories that I talked about, so that you could do your own research. It's a lot of times people talk about things, but they have nothing to back it up.
Right.
Like I was talking about the guy that was arrested for being 43 cents short for a Mountain Dew soda. That's news. You can Google that. We have to use common sense. Why would the police spend thousands of dollars, and who would the store be to even call the police for somebody for 43 cents? And he didn't steal it.
Right.
That's the how would I say how the news, they over dramatize things. For us to be in a country like that people can just say, wow, that's messed up, and turn away, but not knowing that it could happen to you. So that's what it's all about. Let's see if we have a couple more questions. And I know it's
while you're browsing that screen, let me jump in, brother. I heard you mention someone. someone brought up the
Go ahead,
subject
Ken.
of businesses, and you made a comment. Yeah, you want to be incorporated. I don't know the whole context of the text they sent you, but let me add to this. Yes, I agree with that, folks. In this world today, with all the threats out here, whether it be from AI or even, unfortunately, attacks from our government, not just RS, but we have many potential attacks upon our family, upon our income, upon our assets. You want to be properly structured at all times. Asset protection is about the question, how are you structured to protect that which you claim to be yours? You really don't want to own it. You just need to control it. So structuring is the key. If you are a business owner or seeking to become a business owner, you want to first look at being properly structured. Number one, to separate the business assets from your personal assets. There's protection there. And then number two, being able to grow that business with the maximum degree of liability protection over you and your family. So you don't want to be in a position where if you make a mistake in a business, they not only can take the assets of the business, but they can also take your personal assets. That's about structuring.
Yep.
In short, the short side of it, due to time limitations tonight, the short side is to understand LLC versus a corporate structure. Which one do you need? And the benefits of having either one. I don't care which one you pick based on what you're doing, but make sure you pick one of them. Get that business out of your name. And in the same way, in the exact same way that the powers that be created structures for business owners to protect their business assets, they also created structures for individuals and individuals with families to equally protect their personal and family assets. So if you look at the trust world and compare it to the business world, you will see structuring that's identical, synonymous, and it's by design.
That's why the rich stay rich.
The millionaires and billionaires.
That's why the rich stay rich. Yeah, you're right.
The millionaires and billionaires who control 97% of the wealth of America and leaves the other 3% to the other 350 million of us. They know this.
That's right.
But Brother Versatile and I are now teaching this so we can level the playing field. And I just wanted to get that in. No, structuring is
Thank you so much, Ken. It is the key, and preparation is the key. That's what these conversations are for, is for us to educate each other and create a dialogue, because these conversations are not in the public, and we need to use wisdom and knowledge to discern, because like I said, the government says they're going to do this, they're going to do that, but then you still, the government, how many times did the government say that they were going to take care of student loans? They're using it as a toy for voting. That's what they're using, and people are suffering. So that's what this is all about. So we have to utilize the knowledge that we have and apply it. Thank you for our special guest, rocket scientist and trust consultant, Ken Harrison, and to our audience for their voices in this journey. To create common sense conversation for change, remember, understanding the world's challenges is only the first step. Let us use our voices as instruments for change. Until the next time, God bless you.